Hello, I'm Mr. Beat, and I'm wearing a historic shirt. The shirt is from 2007. 2007! Yeah. Uh, I made this shirt, and it's 18 years old, so I just wanted to point that out before we started tonight. Tonight we've got presidents on a plane. Presidents on a plane, I'm not joking. All of the 45 presidents, most of them dead, some of them alive, and we're going to figure out where to sit on this plane because why not? It's just a fun exercise. I hope you're doing well today, tonight, this morning, this afternoon. Make sure we got some sound here. Oh, good. I turned up the volume on my microphone because it was kind of quiet last time I live streamed. Oh, good. I turned up the volume on my microphone. So if it sounds distorted, let me know. But anyway, I saw this on the great subreddit presidents, r/presidents is where I got this idea. And then somebody posted their own on my subreddit. So if you haven't joined my subreddit on Reddit, it's just r/Mr. Beat. It's, oh, turn the mic down a little. It is a little distorted. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Still trying to figure this out. Well, thank you for the kind words. I am going to let you look at this. If you can't make out what these presidents are, I'll zoom in here momentarily. But again, we've got all 45 sitting on a plane. It's not snakes on a plane. It's presidents on a plane. So many mother presidents on this mother plane. Or something like that. That was the quote from the movie Snakes on a Plane. The famous movie. Have you not seen that movie, Snakes on a Plane, if you don't get the reference? Anyway, so I'll just tell you right off the bat who I would try to sit next to, who I would love to have a conversation with for several hours. So assume that this is a long flight. This is from, let's say, New York to Singapore. Okay, you've got a really long flight from New York to Singapore. 15-hour flight. Is that the longest flight possible? I don't know. Something like that. And you want to have just the best conversation ever. Who are you going to sit next to on this plane? I mean, obviously, I want to talk to George Washington. He's my favorite president. I would love to talk to Teddy Roosevelt, who is in my top 5 now for best presidents. Eisenhower, Ike would be great to sit next to. Abraham Lincoln, even though Abraham Lincoln is not in my top 5, he's still in my top 10. He would be amazing to talk to. But even more recent presidents, I think it'd be cool to chat with Barack Obama. He's a really smart guy. I have a few questions for him. Maybe one day I can interview him in real life because he's still alive. Same goes with George W. Bush Jr. I think he'd be really fun to talk to. I think he's probably the most likable of all the recent presidents in terms of just somebody who you'd want to hang out with. I think otherwise, I could be swayed in many different directions. So that's why I wanted to do a live stream to get your thoughts too. Let's see, a couple others maybe. Ronald Reagan would be fun. Ronald Reagan definitely would be fun. Woodrow Wilson, I don't really have a desire to sit next to him. James Buchanan, nah, sorry, James. Andrew Johnson, no way. Maybe Harry Truman, but honestly, Truman might just be reading the whole time, might not want to talk that much. Maybe Lyndon Johnson would be fun. Thomas Jefferson, absolutely, just because he was a smart guy, but he might be too smart for me. He might be like using a bunch of words that I don't understand. So you got to think about this stuff too. You know, think about if you're going to sit next to a president who was alive in the 1700s, you're going to have a much more challenging time conversing with them. So keep this in mind as well. But it's just a fun thought exercise. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this. I want to make sure you can see this better. I'll do the full screen here. Okay, so there I am up there at the top with my looking all ready to go out for the night at the Dole Institute. A1, we've got William Henry Harrison. A2, we've got John Quincy Adams and John Adams. They father and son sit next to each other. A3, we've got George W. Bush, for some reason not sitting next to his dad. I don't know what's up with that. A4 and B4, we've got Andrew Jackson and not just Joe Biden, but Dark Brandon, apparently. I did not pick these pictures out. These are pictures that Mrs. Beat found for the most part. She got some wrong, but I found the ones that she missed. B5, we got Ronald Reagan, so he's got an open seat next to him. A6, James Polk. B6, there's Bush Sr., George H.W. Bush. A7, we got William Howard Taft. And B7, William McKinley. B8, we've got Franklin Pierce. Oh, man, he kind of seems lonely there. Richard Nixon is in A9. Thomas Jefferson in A10, sitting next to Donald Trump. And B10, that would be an interesting convo between the two. A11, Gerald Ford. And B11, James Monroe. John Tyler at A12. Going over here to the other side, we've got A12 is George Washington. C12 is Millard Fillmore. I think that's C. No, it's E. These are C, D, E. Okay, fine. C12, George Washington. Millard Fillmore in E12. C11 is Herbert Hoover. Harry Truman over there in E11. So we got a lot of people right here. This is an interesting part of the plane. In row 10, C, D, and E, we have Calvin Coolidge, Franklin Roosevelt, and James Buchanan, who's sitting right behind Abraham Lincoln there in E9. Zachary Taylor in C9. So there's another open seat. In row 8, we've got James Madison in C, Andrew Johnson in D, and Lyndon Johnson in E. Johnson's got to stick together, you know. In C7, Barack Obama, empty seat. Ulysses Grant in E7. Row 6, D6, Rutherford Hayes. E6, John F. Kennedy. C5, James Garfield. D5, Warren Harding. I know it's hard to tell with this hat there, but, you know, it's still an iconic, distinctive hat. And E5, Woodrow Wilson. And row 4 and D4, Chester Arthur. E4, Jimmy Carter. In row 3, we've got Theodore Roosevelt in D3. Martin Van Buren in E3. C2, Grover Cleveland. E2, Dwight Eisenhower. Oh. And then finally, the first row for D, we've got Benjamin Harrison. And E1 is Bill Clinton. So yeah, kind of a wide range of pictures there. Now I want you to hear from you all. Where would you sit? And we're going to do a poll once I start seeing repeats here. So far D2 looking pretty good. And then also I'm going to have you predict where you think I would sit. Again, while you're letting us know in the chat where you would sit, I will tell you I would not want to sit next to Woodrow Wilson. I would not want to sit next to James Buchanan, nor Andrew Johnson. James Polk would probably be boring to me. Richard Nixon might be fun, but after a while, also boring. I think Thomas Jefferson would be great, but Donald Trump's sitting next to him already. Plus, behind him is Gerald Ford. In front of him is Nixon. So, you know, you can't really get a good angle unless you're in B9. But yeah, George Washington, of course, there in the back. That would be a good spot, I think. Abraham Lincoln is, if you lost track of where Abraham Lincoln is, he's in E9. It's a crowded area. You got a lot of people there. That might be another good spot there between Zachary Taylor and Abraham Lincoln. I think Zachary Taylor actually would be a lot of fun to talk to. From every account I've read about him, he was somebody who was just kind of easy to talk to. He could talk to all types of people, very personable. But no, if you want a deeper conversation, obviously Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln. I think it'd also be great to talk to Theodore Roosevelt. So we've got C3 there. It looks pretty good. I mean, two of my favorite presidents ever, as you know if you've watched the channel before, are Grover Cleveland and Dwight Eisenhower sitting in the same row, C2 and E2. So that's another good spot. All right, looking at the chat now. Let's see where you're saying. I'm seeing some repeats here, but also variety. So, oh man. D7 looks like a repeat. A lot of people are saying D7. C3. I'm getting some repeats for C3. And then I'm going to have Mrs. B put up a poll. She's helped me in the chat. She's the one who dropped in to tell me that no one can hear me, so I'm glad she did that. All right, well, other repeats here. I'm seeing some D. Okay, wait. What is that? Well, there's a lot of variety here. So a lot of people in the D row, just in general. D9, D2, D12. D2 has been on here multiple times. I'll write that one down. D11, B3. Yeah, D7, a lot of you are saying that one. I've had multiple D9s now. Okay, it seems like D7 and D2 are standing out though overall. Got some B1, B3. Oh, multiple C3s again. Okay, C3 might have a run for against D2. Keep them coming here. I'm trying to get I mean, this isn't a quantity or quality. It's somewhere in between. I'm just trying to catch what I can. A lot of people saying D7. D7 is stacked. A5. Multiple A5s. All right. It seems that C3, though, is going to have a lot of... I'm getting a lot of C3s. I think that might be the other contender to D7. A lot of D2s as well. Oh, C3, though, might be... Yeah, a lot of okay. All right, I think I'm confident now. I think we got enough. All right. So I'm going to say in the chat here to... the sound is still not right. Okay. Static is too... Yeah, I don't know. I need to get myself a new microphone or something. We're going to go D2... No, I'm sorry. D7. Unless you can do 3. If you can do 3, add D2. But otherwise, D7 versus C3. She says they're static. Okay, well, as long as you can hear me. Oh, History Underground is here. History Underground, the legend. Okay, thanks for being here. All right, so we're going to put up a poll here now. While we're putting up the poll, I got some super chats I'll answer here. Love the Deep State video. Great work as per. Oh, well, thank you very much, Lena. I appreciate that. That's the Irish flag, right? Sometimes it's hard to tell with emojis. Yeah. Represent Ireland. Y337, the best thing you can announce when you board this plane. All these presidents in one place and no Secret Service in sight. That's right. No one is stopping me to talk to any of them. Would you debate Jay Dyer on the topics that you believe he lost against not so erudite? Oh, that's the guy that debated her. No, I don't think so. I don't really do debates like that. Maybe a conversation, though, at some time. Okay, so we've got a poll, right? Is the poll there? Oh, maybe it's not. Okay, let me see if I can add it then. Did we not get a poll on here? Let me see. We're trying to get a poll to vote. Okay, there it is. Yeah, it's there. We've got 101 votes so far. So there are 3 choices, either D7, C3, or C2. And then I will reveal where I would like to sit. That's the second poll we'll do here in a moment. Or not poll, I guess, because then it would be all of them. So we'll just like have you guess where you think I would. I already picked where I want to sit a long time ago. I made up my mind. But D7, of course, let's kind of zoom in on that. Okay, so we have, in case you forgot, D7 is between Barack Obama, Ulysses Grant on the other side. In front, we got Rutherford Hayes. You could still talk to John F. Kennedy there. Behind, you could still talk to James Madison and Lyndon Johnson as well, and Andrew Johnson. I don't know. I feel like Andrew Johnson would just be kicking my seat the whole time. That'd be really annoying. All right, and the other choices are... Sorry, I'm looking at different things at the same time. So we've got C3, and C2. So, oh, wait. I think that's supposed to say D2. Yeah, that's supposed to say D2, Mrs. Beat. Not C2. No wonder nobody picked it. You can't sit on top of Grover Cleveland. You can't sit on his lap. So yeah, it looks like C3, you're behind Grover Cleveland. You're sitting next to Teddy Roosevelt, but no one's behind you. You can maybe talk to Chester Arthur. Yeah, I think we better end this thing. But I think maybe if we did have D2 on there, maybe if that changes things as well, that would be between Grover Cleveland and Dwight Eisenhower. And behind Benjamin Harrison, you can still talk to Bill Clinton, Martin Van Buren, and in front of Teddy Roosevelt. All right, yeah, so you can go ahead and end the poll. Looks like D7 is the winner of the chat. So you're sitting between Obama and Grant, in front of Andrew Johnson, behind Rutherford Hayes. Hayes would be another really fun one to talk to. I would like to talk to him about Georgism and universal basic income and wealth inequality, issues of our day. All right. Let's go back to there. That poll is down. Looks like D7's the winner. Now take a guess where I would sit. I picked this out the other day when I first saw this. Where do you think I would sit? Based on everything you know about me. And I will reveal it in a moment. I wish I had a prize to give away to you if you got it right. All right, we've got someone saying D12, D2, D9. D2, D2. I wrote it down just so you know. Some more D12s. So yeah, because you know, some of you know that I like Millard Fillmore as well. I don't like him as much, but I'm less harsh about Millard Fillmore than I am. Okay, A8 is a different one. Sitting next to Franklin Pierce and behind William Howard Taft and in front of Nixon. Okay, yeah, so D11. Oh yeah, that's an interesting one. Still get to talk to Calvin Coolidge there. All right, well, I will reveal where I would like to sit. Although, I'm starting to change my mind. Yeah, Nixon would kick the seat as well. D2 is what I wrote. D2, there's the proof. I wrote it down before. I definitely would like to sit between Ike and Cleveland for sure. And I could also talk to Teddy Roosevelt. I could just turn around and talk to him. I really wouldn't care about Martin Van Buren or Benjamin Harrison. But Bill Clinton also would be pretty cool to talk to. And I guess I could still talk to him in real life too, because he's still alive. All right, so for those of you who guessed D2, congratulations. Your prize is a virtual hug. I don't know, virtual high five. I'm not very good at this. All right, so for the rest of this, I'll stick around and take questions. I just thought this would be a fun thing to do real quick. All right, what questions you got? Now that you can hear me, the sound isn't too bad. Is it? I'm also on Twitch right now, simulcasting, trying to get that going more. In case you didn't know this, I live stream on Twitch every single Friday morning, 9 a.m. Central. I react to a video, typically an American history video, typically an American political history video, sometimes geography or economics. What are you talking to Ike about? That's a great question, Just John. I am talking to him about the bad stuff. I want to ask him, how much did you know about these coups in Latin America? How much did you know about what Dulles was up to? Okay, both the Dulles brothers. Why did you trust the Dulles brothers so much? Also, Operation, you know what I'm talking about. I can't say that word because this Operation Moistback, as I think Cypher said. What was up with that? That was horrible. What about the Lavender Scare? Why didn't you do more against the second Red Scare? So yeah, I mean the tough questions, obviously, but you do it in a nice way. Because all the other stuff I disagree with them, and it would get boring. You want to actually poke the bear a little bit. That's what you want to do. Same thing with Obama for sure. And I mean, I got a lot to ask him. If I ever interviewed him in person, I'd ask him the tough questions. I'd try to. You could still be nice and ask him. Oh, Moist Spine, that's what it was, yeah. Oh, Tom's Table is here. Hello, everyone subscribe to Tom's Table. Oh, thank you for... How do you stay so awesome? I don't think I'm that awesome, but thank you very much for the kind words. And he also is a channel member. One of the regulars and on the Friday morning crew when I react to stuff on Twitch, exclusively over there. Do you like history besides American history? Yeah, I think if in terms of other countries, I think it's really easy to get into British history, I think, because there's that close connection with the United States. Also, though, I think if you go back far enough in time, yeah, I mean, looking at ancient Egypt is pretty fascinating, and ancient Greece, ancient Rome. But yeah, I usually stick with more recent American history. More videos on European history? Well, I mean, that's out of my comfort zone. I used to teach world history to high schoolers, but that doesn't mean I know much about world history. I did teach a lot of European history, especially from the last 200 years. Oh, Tyler's here. Hello, Tyler. Good to see you. Any good reads lately? Yeah, there's a book that I've been reading. Actually, I'm just about ready to finish it up. It's H.W. Brand's 1890s book, because I feel like there's a lot of similarities to today. It's called The Reckless Decade by H.W. Brands. Is a historian based out of the University of Texas. I highly recommend it. Let's see. There's a book I'm going to read probably pretty soon. This one here, The Cabinet by Lindsay Chervinsky. I've been meaning to read this, and I think it's next on my list to check out. I'm a slow reader, though. I don't read as quickly as I used to. And I do more audiobooks than these books these days, but I don't know. Actually, I'm going back in the other direction. Audiobooks are... Because what happened was I stopped driving, and I don't listen to stuff when I walk anymore. And so there are fewer opportunities to listen to audiobooks. So yeah, go back to paper books. Heck yeah. My favorite movie of all time is The Truman Show. I made a video about it on my other channel, The Beat Goes On. Animal Farm, yeah, absolutely. It's a required reading in a lot of high schools. It's an Orwell book. Let's see if I can find some more questions. Opinions of Chester Arthur. Chester Arthur was definitely somebody who was forgotten in American history. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. There really wasn't that much that stood out. The thing that always stands out for me is the fact that he helped grow the Navy. There was not much of a naval force at the beginning of his presidency, and he dramatically grew it. But he just took over, after the death of James Garfield, and really not a lot happened those last 3 years of Garfield's term that ended up being Arthur's term. He wasn't particularly that into the job. I know that. Oh, Tom Stable has a question again. Super chat. Yes. What's your opinion on South African refugees? Yeah. In case you missed it, there were a few. This was like a publicity stunt. I believe it was 2 days ago. Elon Musk appeared with a bunch of South Africans. Most of them appeared to have lighter skin, and they were called refugees. I think they're primarily of Dutch descent, but I don't know why the Trump administration was making a big deal out of it. I guess because they're like, hey, we do save refugees. We do offer asylum to people that are fleeing their country. I don't know the background specifically of those folks, but I can tell you one thing. It was bad optics in terms of you got a lot of brown people you're deporting, and just for speaking out against the government, even though they're here legally. A judge, for example, said Kilmore Abrego could be here, and he was still sent to a gulag. So it's not a very good situation for many people in this country right now who are not citizens but are still here legally. Like, if you're not here legally, okay, yeah, you knew you're taking a risk. But if you are here legally, you did all the proper things to make sure that you were fine, and you're still getting kicked out of the country and sent to a foreign prison, that's not good. So that's been a troubling trend for sure I've seen since Trump took office. All right, back to these other questions here. What's your favorite Beatles album? Who's your favorite Beatles album? I would say the White Album, probably, because it's all over the place, and you can tell that was when they were trying new things the most. I think it was their most experimental album, maybe next to Sgt. Pepper's. Or Rubber Soul, I guess. Oh, we got a Canadian here. Dylan. Sorry, Canada. I'm so sorry what's been happening with the United States. Hey, Mr. B, question from your neighbor to the north. What are your thoughts on Prime Minister Mark Carney? Appreciate your informative and amazing work. Well, thank you. I don't know too much about him other than what I've seen in J.J. McCall's videos about him. He seems like pretty similar to Trudeau in terms of policy positions. He seems to be a little bit more of a no-nonsense guy, but I don't think he's really an outsider. I can understand, like, a big reason why he got elected was because of this surge in nationalism that's happening in your country right now, mostly in a response to Donald Trump and the trade war, and him saying that Canada should be the 51st state, even if he was joking, which I don't even think it was that much of a joke. I think he was partially serious. So, yeah, a lot of Canadians are worked up right now, not liking not just Trump, but they're not liking the United States, and I get it. So picking Carney was more of a, I think, indicator that we're just frustrated with the United States. That's my interpretation of it. I don't know too much about Canadian politics, though. Patrick, thank you for the super chat. Will you cover Jake Tapper's Original Sin? Well, I know who Jake Tapper is. He's a journalist who's on CNN, I believe. But that must be a video you want me to react to? Let me look it up here. Original Sin by Jake Tapper. Or is that a book? Oh, it's a book. That's the one that came out that was about, isn't it about the cover-ups of Joe Biden's cognitive decline? Yeah, that's what it's saying here. I read an article about this, but I didn't know it was Jake Tapper that wrote it. Yeah, I'm probably going to check it out at some point. Thanks for bringing it to my attention, Patrick. JP, thank you. The white genocide. Thank you to all the super chats, by the way. That's really generous of you to do this. And Liam, it was good to see you. I forgot to say, like, I know Liam. The white genocide SA thing is an earworm from Tucker Carlson from 2018. Musk amplified it. Yeah, I mean, I have a video about great replacement theory, and one reason why I made it was because it was in response to how mainstream that idea had become. And my simple response to somebody who thinks there's a conspiracy to get rid of white people, first of all, what does white people mean? I mean, there's different definitions of what white means. Second, if you want to like talk about terms of like in terms of melanin in our skin, like the skin pigment, people that look like me have not been around that long in human history. We have not been here. We're kind of freaks. Blue-eyed people like myself are also freaks, but you know, we're still beautiful people. Don't get me wrong, but we're freaks. And so, if you look at all of human history that goes back 300,000 years, it doesn't appear that white, whatever that means again, people did not exist. So you know, the bottom line is human beings have been. There's been mating between people of different skin colors for so long that I predict at some point that we will kind of go all back to being about the same color of skin, have about the same amount of melanin. So this is just kind of how it goes because a lot of people are attracted to other people sexually that have different skin pigmentation than they do. And so, yeah, they hook up and they have babies. And so I guess, like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. Like, they also tend to say, oh, there's this such a thing as a white culture. I made a video about Western values and this so-called white culture that they think exists. I have not seen any evidence of a distinct culture or even a distinct, I mean, there's no evidence for what we traditionally call an ethnic group. When we talk about ethnic group, we're talking about a very narrow set of shared values and culture, usually that's created because of a geographical, a set of circumstances that are geographical. And so that's when we talk about ethnicity, like, what are you talking about? Because somebody who has lighter skin from Iceland there's a lot of difference between someone who has lighter skin and Uruguay. You know, it's just so it's kind of ridiculous. I think it's just mostly just racist people trying to look for an excuse to bring back segregation and the ways of the old, like stupid tribalism. Anyway, so I did make a full video about the Great Replacement Theory. You can see some of the really terrifying comments underneath it, but I leave them up for the most part. It's not. I mean, I don't really censor comments. Sometimes YouTube censors them, but it's pretty disturbing to see all those comments. A lot of people believe this garbage. So anyway. I'll go. Oh, I got to scroll down here. Thoughts on Pope Leo the 14th? Yeah, I shared some thoughts about him in the Twitch live stream last Friday, so you can still watch that. But it's just pretty cool that he's an American, that he grew up watching the same shows that many of us did. A White Sox fan, somebody who a lot of cultural similarities, and so yeah, it's easy to root for him. Again, tribalism. You know, we all kind of. It's amazing how quickly you have two people that you think that would maybe hate each other, but then they find out that, oh, they went to the same high school. Oh, wow, or they went to the same college, or they went to the same church growing up, or whatever. You find that commonality between two people that you think would hate each other, and then all of a sudden they're best friends because tribalism is just still there. So yeah, pride, of course, is a natural feeling I have. As far as his politics, I don't even think he has any strong distinct politics other than, like, I know that he tweeted criticisms against J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, but it was kind of benign. It wasn't really much. So, but I know a lot of people did not like that, people that are big fans of the president and Vance. Whoa, your first live. Welcome, MR. Yes, thank you for being here. And we got someone on Twitch here. Mr. Beat. If the plane crashed and only one Roe survived, which Roe would be the best to run a new government? Ooh, this is such a great question. Let's put it back up there here, a little bit bigger so you can see. Which Roe would be the best to survive to run the new government? Here, let's hide that for a second. Let me think about this for a moment. Ooh, wow, this is tough. Go ahead and let us know in the chat. I mean, you would think that maybe a row of 3, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Definitely not row 5 with... are you talking about the entire row, A through E? Okay. If it's all A through E, let's just do it that way. Yeah, I mean, I think... scratch out row 8 for sure. I don't know, like... row 2 still looks pretty good. Yeah, row 2 looks really darn good. You got Cleveland and Ike, but you also have John Adams and John Quincy Adams. So yeah, I might go with that. I was going to say row 10, then I saw Trump in there, and he just, you know, turn everybody against each other. So, yeah, not row 12. I mean, poor George Washington is with John Tyler and Millard Fillmore, so I was like, okay. Yeah, let's just go with row 2. Somebody said row 6. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, you got JFK in there. James Polk, that'd be an interesting combo. I'm just so biased for Ike, I guess. Okay, great question. I love that question. I'm glad I caught it. If I don't catch it, I'll try to at least get the super chats here. So, oh, thank you very much, Wes. Thanks for the kind words. And history majors unite. That's right. I got a history degree up there on the wall. Got mine at the University of Emporia State University. Mr. Beat, are we moving towards authoritarianism? Yes, we are. In the United States, we are anyway. I can't speak for other countries, although there are some that I know about, like Hungary and to a lesser extent Poland, I think. But you know, I mean, obviously, a lot of countries around the world are already authoritarian, so this is nothing new. 1 out of every 3 human beings, according to psychologists that have studied this, they've done studies on this. 1 out of every 3 human beings kind of gravitate toward authoritarian leaders. You could psychoanalyze that all you want, but that's just the fact that 1 out of every 3 people you meet is going to be like, oh, yeah, maybe we should have a dictator. Maybe fascism is good. Maybe we shouldn't have democracy. So just keep that in mind. Democracy is always fragile. It's always under attack. It's always dangerous. You got to fight for democracy because people in power are always just like, it's easier if we didn't have democracy. We would get so much more done. And yeah, the Constitution for 249 years has prevented us from having authoritarianism. But right now we have a president who is ignoring the Supreme Court. They are breaking the Constitution routinely. There's at least a dozen different things that Trump has done that have went against the Constitution. So yeah, like, we are not on a very good path right now, and hopefully we can get out of it. I'm not so much as concerned about Trump as much as I am about the people around him. And I said this like before the election last year, like the people around him seem to be okay with authoritarianism. They seem to be against the Constitution, which is not good. Scott says, I would want JFK. He'd be a hell of a wingman in more ways than one. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying there, Scott. Thanks for the super chat. Victor, thank you. If yes, when do you expect... Oh, this is a follow-up. When do you expect the U.S. to dissolve into authoritarianism? Back to your previous question. It's hard to tell. It's always difficult to predict the future, but I know that it tends to happen pretty quickly. But maybe because of the internet, it would not be as dramatic because you have to be sneakier about it. there's a lot of. I think the reason why democracy is still doing all right overall is because it's so easy to hold people in power accountable. When journalists don't do it anymore, you still have regular folks who have their cell phones who can just, you know, record something. Like if, say, a police officer is beating somebody to death, who didn't do anything wrong. We can catch that on film, and then, that's a way to fight the power. We didn't have that even 50 years ago. That would be unthinkable, or even 30 years ago unthinkable, that we could get that kind of footage. So stuff like that still gives me hope. But yeah, like if anything, I think it's more of a soft authoritarianism that we're probably going to dissolve into. And yeah, it could easily happen within the next 2 years if we're not careful. But I think a lot of people that voted for Trump they're not going to just go along with that. I'm still optimistic. We have the First Amendment in this country that pretty much every American likes. So once you start going for free speech in particular, also freedom of religion, the Second Amendment, even people that lean to the left, I think most of them are still fans of the Second Amendment still being there as some kind of safeguard against tyranny. I know that's not the stereotype we think of, but the vast majority of Americans don't want to get rid of the Second Amendment. So that also gives me hope. So a few things give me hope. It's all right. V-Man is here. Oh my gosh. Good to see you. Mr. B, do you think this administration will spook the U.S. territories from integration? In Puerto Rico, stateholders 4 years ago fear-mongered independence would lead to a dictatorship, yet Trump is that dictator. I mean, potentially. Just remember that they're always thinking long-term generally. It's just a dark time in American history. We'll get through this, I imagine. So I think the main thing is remembering that this process is really long anyway. So if Puerto Rico were to become a state, for those who don't know, V-Man's from Puerto Rico, always gives me a lot of fun and not so fun Puerto Rico facts. But yeah, I think if the process were to start to try to get Puerto Rico to become a state, it likely would be several years before it happened anyway. So by that time, there could be a lot of changes. So, but yeah, like the other weird thing is, even in Puerto Rico, a lot of people probably would be okay with a dictatorship. It's something that we don't really say out loud that much, but it's true. Oh, nice. We got somebody here from New Zealand. Thank you, Ryan. Hey, Mr. Beat, love your videos. Interesting comparing what is considered left wing in my own country of New Zealand versus the States. Cheers. Yeah. We the Overton window has went further and further to the right in the United States ever since I was a kid, which was the 1980s. I was born in the 1980s when Ronald Reagan was president. Ever since Ronald Reagan, the Overton window has shifted further and further to the right on most issues. Not all. We've shifted to the left on social issues. So examples like more rights for the LGBT plus community, for sure. Just more openness in general as far as like personal behavior, decriminalization of drugs. So in that regard, we've gone further to the left. But overall, I would say the Republican Party it's a right-wing party, but it's more so like apolitical these days, where the ideology isn't so neatly packaged, whereas the Democratic Party in many ways is kind of still a conservative party economically. So we really don't have like a left-wing party alternative, which is kind of crazy to think about. Yeah, so I can see when you, like, to a New Zealander, I think the Democratic Party would be very conservative, actually, because that's just where they're at politically overall. All right. There's Mrs. B. Think LeBron would win? Would he win? Well, I missed the beginning part of the conversation. Did you hear about Hassan Piker's detainment? I did. I don't know much about it. I read an article that he was detained by, was it TSA? When he landed in the United States from Europe. That's all I know about it, though, which is kind of crazy because I think he was detained because of his political opinions, which is messed up. Not good. Not good. First Amendment, guys. First Amendment. Oh, it's Helmer. Oh my gosh. You go home. Anyway, who's your favorite Pokemon? I don't watch Pokemon. I'm not into Pokemon. I'm sorry. I don't know. Whoever your favorite Pokemon is my favorite Pokemon. How about that? Oh, he was detained regarding his opinions on Gaza. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know much about Keir Starmer. I just finally started researching him the other day. I was like, I got to know more about this guy because I live streamed after he took over as prime minister, and somebody asked me about him, and I was like, who? So I need to research him more. Okay, maybe react to Hassan. I already have a couple videos lined up, but if we have time for Friday, for sure. Oh, LeBron versus MJ. I mean, obviously, Michael Jordan is going to be my favorite basketball player of all time, but I'm kind of biased because of my age. All right. We'll take a few more questions here. I'm probably going to go about 10 more minutes. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's funny you say this. I do have a video planned about the Afghanistan war later this year. The one I'm currently working on is, oh, I put my books away, but yeah, the Korean War. That's coming out next Friday, so look forward to that. Oh, I did a live stream about how the United States should be divided up into different geographic regions. I'm sure that, yeah, that'd be a fun one to react to for sure. Okay. You know what? I was also a really big Kobe Bryant fan. Yeah. Oh, but he's got. Oh, okay. He must be a big basketball. I really like Jokic right now. Like he's fun to watch. Although I don't watch NBA as much as I used. When I was a kid, I watched NBA a lot. I think what got me more into it was Michael Jordan, obviously, Space Jam, and all that. But then I just played a lot of video games back then. I played NBA Jam was the first one I ever played, and I played other one on Nintendo 64. That's what really got me in. Okay, thought. Oh, this is moving. What's my favorite football team? Is the Chiefs. Yeah, I know, but I'm from Kansas. Okay, I live 30 minutes away from Kansas City, so keep that in mind. Thoughts on the whole Khalid Columbia case? Khalid Columbia, which one is that? Oh, that's the student who was okay. Yeah. For those who don't know, this was he was one of the lead protesters at Columbia University, and he was just kidnapped from ICE, and they didn't have a warrant. They just took him and arrested him. I don't think he was ever given due process. So that means no habeas corpus, no charges were ever. I mean, they just detained him or just locked him up. That was it. I know it's being fought right now. I'm not sure exactly which court it's in, but that's another terrifying. That's one of many horrible things that has been happening under the Trump administration. Uh, Thoughts on AOC and Bernie? Well, Bernie, I mean, it's amazing that he's still out there talking. AOC, I think, will probably be the nominee for 2028 for the Democrats if they're smart. However, there's a lot of people that still worry that running a woman is we're not ready for that yet as a society. We're still too sexist. So, but I think that like she's kind of the future of the party at this point. Um, when they try to get people excited about some of the old men that like I think Tim Walz though is also kind of the future of the party, which is weird because he's also an old guy, but he doesn't sound like the others. So that's interesting. I could see like a ticket of AOC and Tim Walz doing really well. Oh, the statehood movement. He's just kind of ranting here. V-Man is. The statehood movement in Puerto Rico is a political grift. They merely campaign on it and use referendums to boost turnout. Then do their song and dance in D.C. Then forget about it to the next level. I'm sure there's some truth to that for sure. Okay. See if I missed any super chats. I don't think I did. All right. How's Harry Truman's Presidential Library? I've been there like 10 times. It's amazing. I mean, it's my favorite one. It's the first one. So, yeah, there's that. Thoughts on Charles Evans Hughes as Chief Justice? He did all right. Like I can pull up my Supreme Court Justice scorecard. I have a scorecard I made. Let's see here. I made it public, I thought. Yeah, it's here if I can. I need to update it though.
Hi, Mr. Beast.
Oh,
You're
here. You know that guy? Oh no, here it is. I have to remove that first. There we go. Yeah, so this, if you go to this video where I go through my top 10 Supreme Court justices, there is a Supreme Court Justice scorecard I have here. And you can see I've done different categories. If that's not big enough, let me zoom in here. So I haven't updated this in a while, but you have the yellow column, which is agree with them on decisions. They got a score like at 1 point per decision. Green column is impact, leadership ability, blue column. So and then I just add them up. That's how I determine my favorite and worst Supreme Court justices generally. I know it wasn't like a perfect science or anything. But if you go to Charles Hughes, he gets a score of 4. Looks like I agreed with him on 2 decisions. I give him a 1 for impact. And for leadership ability, I give him a 1. So, yeah, there you go. I think that's a way to give numbers to it. Mike Gravel's not alive, wanker. I'm sorry. Oh, you think AOC would be disliked? I mean, so was Trump. So I don't know what your point is there. Trump was probably the most disliked candidate ever, and he got elected twice to president. The bottom line is the Democrats need someone to vote for, not against, and they need somebody with something different. They need so if it's not her, it's got to be someone like her. Yeah, I do plan on going to Plains at some point. I mean, there's so much I could film there too for a Jimmy Carter video, which I will eventually make. Not this year though. I already have other videos planned for this year. I'm very excited to announce that I have 4 president videos planned, all filming during the summer. So my family and I, we're going to spend some time in Virginia, and I'm going to film videos about Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, so 3 of the Virginia dynasty presidents. And then later in the summer, I'm still planning on going to Ohio to make a video about James Garfield. So that's my plans. But yeah, I got to get to them all at some point. Who do I think will run in 2028? Let's see. I think probably Pete Buttigieg, because he's been out there a lot. I think I've noticed a lot of people talking about Andy Beshear might be a possibility because he's from Kentucky. He's a very popular governor, and I mean I like somebody like Raphael Warnock because I think he's one of the best speakers I've ever heard in my entire life. But I don't think he has a chance. I think they need him in the Senate actually. But yeah, AOC, I mentioned AOC. I know Gretchen Whitmer got some talk there, but she seems to not be as popular as she once was. She's the governor of Michigan. Tim Walz, for sure. Kamala Harris, I just don't think she's it. I think a lot of Democrats are ready to move on and try someone else. What about the guy with the boot on his head? Yeah, that's right. John Stewart would be amazing. I've said this on previous live streams. Oh, I got more super chats here. Okay. Yeah, Stephen Miller thinks suspending habeas corpus is Congress has to do that. That's something that Congress, actually, the Supreme Court has ruled on this. Unless you're in wartime and unless there's martial law, then you're not a president can't just suspend habeas corpus legally. Pretty messed up that he said that. And the reason why he said it, by the way, is because of the imminent threat of immigrants, illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants is probably the better way to put it. That's what he said, though. That's why we need to suspend habeas corpus. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I sound like Charles Barkley. Hillary and Harris lost because of campaigning errors. Is what you're? I think. Yeah. That's a big reason. That's a big part of it for sure. G3R0 or O. Thank you. I feel this may have. I feel this may have already been mentioned, but I'm still so sad about Souter. David Souter. Yeah, he passed away a few days ago. I think one of the better justices. I don't think he scored that high on my my justice scorecard because I think I need to update it. But when I went back and looked at his time on the bench, it was pretty impressive. Yeah, like let's see here. I just have him. I give him a score of 5. I would actually change that now because his leadership was, you know, he. I can't edit this document. I'd probably raise it up at least a couple points at this. I mean, he was very kind of like a relic at this point. David Souter represented a much different time in the Supreme Court. He was not an ideologue. He was very pragmatic, and he adapted his views the older he got. He actually was appointed by George H.W. Bush, who was presumed to be a conservative, right-leaning justice, and ended up voting with the left-leaning justices for the later part of his career. Also, something that I love about David Souter is that he was still in his 60s when he retired. He retired like 15 years ago. Like 2009, I think. I think Sotomayor was the one who took his place. How cool is that? I mean, justices retiring, they just don't really do that anymore. They just kind of die, and then Trump gets lots of appointments. Anyway, also thoughts on who will be the next to retire SCOTUS Justice? I think it's going to be Thomas, yeah. I think it's going to be Thomas for sure. All right, let's see. Dylan, again, thank you. Pop quiz. Speaking of the presidential libraries, could you quickly rank them from least to most favorite? I haven't been to all of them, so I feel like I can't give a good opinion on that. But I will say that of the ones I've been to, Harry Truman was from least to most. Okay, so I mean, I have only been to like 5. Or 4. Only 4? Herbert Hoover, Harry Truman, Eisenhower, Lincoln. Just those 4. Is that it? I've driven by plenty. Almost went to Johnson, Lyndon Johnson. Oh, I went to Richard Nixon. The Richard Nixon one actually was pretty darn good. They have his childhood home there that his dad built with his own bare hands. That's in California. So I've only been to 5, which is really embarrassing to say. I'm going to a lot more this summer. 4 this summer, okay? Yeah, I'm going to fix that. I mean, the problem is, like, it's expensive to travel. I just haven't had the time or money to travel. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. I think I got all of the super chats. If you had a question for me and I wasn't able to answer it, maybe hop on the stream on Friday, 9 a.m. Central on Twitch exclusively. Yeah, get on Twitch. I have a good group on there. It's like, I call them my students. Some of them are here tonight because it does feel like a class, and I do give out tardies if you are late. So 9 a.m. sharp, unless you have a pass from the office. Usually there's about 40 or 50 students in there. Yeah. So always a good time. Thanks for being here, though. This was just a fun little thing to do. I figured I could answer questions anyway because I hadn't live streamed in like a month. So anyway, thanks for being here. Have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.